Relationships ain't easy, and unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to change that, but you can enjoy them more. And if you approach them the right way, they can be more than worth it. So I'm John Sanders. I'm a husband, father, brother, sharing the mistakes and successes that I've made in my own relationships so I can help you with yours. If you're single, struggling to get a date, or if you're married and you feel like you're a million miles away from the spouse that's sitting right next to you, I got something that's going to help you. We're going to have fun, you're going to laugh, but most importantly, you're going to learn something that's going to help you take your relationship to the next level. Or if you don't have a relationship, you'll learn something to help you get one. Let's jump into the podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Whatever time you're listening to this, I want to thank you for tuning in to the podcast. We got a great one today. So last time I talked about the overall process to making dating a little easier, to break it up step by step. So today I'm going to start the first of a series where I take each step and I dive in a little bit deeper. I think it'll help. So today we're going to talk about the friendship step. So let me remind you and kind of recap the overall process. So there's friendship, dating, then you become official, then you get engaged, and then of course marriage. And again, of course, all of this is steps towards finding true love. So finding someone who you can make that commitment to on your wedding day and say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And hopefully you do. So let's get into this. Today, I'm going to do a few things for you. I'm going to define friendship for you. We all seem to have different ideas what friendship is, so I'm going to define it for you. Then I'm going to go over the benefits of beginning with friendship. Why would I even want to do that? Or why not just skip the dating? Well, I'm going to tell you why. We're going to go over the do's and don'ts. We're going to let you know what you should be learning about the other person in this step. And then we're going to learn about this isn't the friend zone. So, defining friendship, benefits of beginning with friendship, do's and don'ts, what you should be learning during this step, and don't be afraid. This is not a one-on-one on how to get into the friend zone. Different things, we'll jump into it. So what do I mean when I say friendship? So I thought I'd start off by giving you the Webster's Dictionary, Webster's definition. So it's one attached to another by affection or esteem, one that is not hostile. So friendship is a relationship of mutual affection between people. It is a stronger form of interpersonal bond than an association. So it's a stronger interpersonal bond than association. So those are the definitions. Now, when I say friendships or make friends in your first step, to put it simple, it's someone you just hang out with. Think about it. If you're having a party, get together, whatever, the people who are going to be first on your list are going to be your friends. This is someone that you might give advice to, get advice from. You know, somebody who may complain about their day, complain about work. Someone you're going to share common interests and hobbies with. So, again, in the friend stage, I'm not talking about friends with benefits, because we're talking about how to find true love, how to find love for a life, not love for one night. So you're sharing common interests with them, and just think about friends. So, like, for instance, for me, when I was going through this stage, I took the approach as I'm a guy. So what are some of the ways that I just approached my guy friends? So, and this was it. We would just hang out. We go play basketball because I like basketball. Like we might go out to eat before or after, go hit weights. It was just simple, you know. So instead of trying to start off romantic with someone I was interested in, I was like, let me kind of slow down a little bit and take more of an approach of how I would just approach anybody who I wasn't interested in. So that's what I mean when I say friendship. It's just simply a friend. There's nothing romantic, nothing sexual. You're just getting to know the person. You're hanging out with them. You're having fun with them. So that's what I mean when I say friendship. So you're probably wondering, if I'm trying to find love, it seems like starting off as a friends is either taking things too slow or I should just skip to it because I really want to get to know this person and I want to be romantic with them. So I don't even want the friendship thing. I got enough friends. So let me give you some benefits. When you start off as friends, there's a lot less pressure. And it's on both of you. So when you first meet someone, you don't know if you actually like them or not. When you're trying to find love in a way where you're not leaving a trail of broken hearts behind you. So if you don't even know you like this person yet and you get all romantic with them and you get their feelings into it, and then you realize 2 or 3 weeks later, I really don't like this person. Well, now you got a broken heart. So that person's heart broke. Now also, it could be the flip side. You could be all romantic too quick and it could turn the other person off. And then now your heart's broken. So coming in this way, there's less pressure because you can just be friends. And if it doesn't work out, you guys can just kind of go your separate ways, but there wasn't a lot of feelings that got entangled with it. So some other benefits. You can be friends with as many people as you want. During the dating, technically you can date as many people as you want, but it's not the same. Obviously, if you're dating, you're taking people out on dates, you're spending money, you're having to get ready. I know a lot of times girls are spending more money. Maybe they might want to buy new clothes, get hair done, nails did, etc. When you're friends, you can be friends with whoever you want. If you see a girl that you're interested in, you walk over and talk to her and become friends. It's simple. I said this before, but your feelings are less likely to get hurt. So if one person decides they don't like you, you're just friends. And the cool thing about it is you can actually make good friendships this way. And even though you guys may not become more than just friends, you're still friends, and it's good. So another benefit of this, as you start the relationship focused on who this person is and what they're about, versus being drawn in only by the physical and excitement of something new. So if you choose the step of friendship, you can solely focus on friendship and you don't get distracted by the physical and excitement of it. There's just something about meeting a new person that's just kind of exciting. It's the what if. Could they be the one? What are we going to be like as a couple? Et cetera, et cetera. Everything you're learning out about them, it's new. I'm assuming that you already found them attractive. That's why you're interested in them. So you can get caught up in the physical. You can get caught up in the excitement. And then you gloss over some facts that you probably would have recognized earlier if you had just been friends and you were putting that off. Again, saving heartache. It's just easy. Another thing, when you're single, the more people you meet, the better your chances are of finding your true love. So, when you're single, you want to put yourself in as many situations as possible to meet new people. Basically, you want to try and make new friends. And the good thing about this friendship thing is, like I said earlier, if it doesn't work out, you guys can still be friends. So if this other person you just met feels like, you respected them, you were cool, but maybe things just didn't work out for you guys, but you still hang out, guess what? They have friends. And then if one of their friends is interested in you and they ask about you, they're going to say good things about you. So now you got a recommendation and you got to end with someone else. And who knows? That might end up being someone you date, or that might end up being the one. And so don't burn any bridges if you don't have to. So now let's go on to the do's and don'ts. So this kind of happened with me. So the way I met my wife is we both went to this big church. And so they said, we understand it's hard to meet people. And it wasn't necessarily to date them or to find your husband or wife. It was a big church. If you're new to it, trying to make friends was a little bit like walking up to someone or some random person at the mall and just being like, hey, you wanna be my friend? So as you can imagine, that's not the best way. So anyway, they broke us into groups of about 20 people. They split the married couples from the singles. And they put you in similar age ranges. And so I actually was a part of this, I think a year before my wife showed up there. And all I was doing was making friends there. And she actually ended up coming with someone else I knew, someone who was my friend. Now, I wasn't necessarily trying to date them, but we were friends. I treated them right. So when Angeline came around, I'm sure she asked her friend, our mutual friend, about me. And because I was a good friend to her, I'm sure I got a recommendation. So it just goes to show you never know who knows who. And you always, whenever possible, just be a good friend. Just be respectful to them because it can pay off. Because one of the things she told me is when she was considering me, she realized I had a lot of friends and a lot of people had a lot of good things to say about me. So that was something that made her think, I think I want to get to know this John guy a little more. So, yeah, don't burn bridges. Starting off as friends has many, many benefits. So don't skip it. Let's move on to a few do's and don'ts. Do invite them to group hangouts and sometimes one-on-ones. Don't invite them to a candlelit dinner. So again, you're trying to be friends, nothing romantic. So, go on bowling, movies, if y'all going out to the park, whatever, things you would do with friends. So if you and your friend group are doing stuff, invite them and their friend group. I'm not going to say you can't do one-on-ones because I know me and my wife did that. I would just say don't make that the norm. Obviously, it's going to be kind of hard not to date if you guys keep doing things one-on-one all the time. Do find out what you have in common. But don't be afraid to find out that you have nothing in common. So even though you're friends and you're just taking things easy, you're still trying to see, can we go to the next step? Can I go to the next step with this person? And part of that is finding out if you have anything in common. Do you have the same hobbies, like some of the same shows? That's what you need to be finding out. So when you're in your conversation, you're not just talking about random stuff. Have a little bit of a plan. Don't play 21 questions, but always try to have maybe one or two questions to ask them when you hang out with them. So, do buy gifts for their birthday. Don't buy gifts for Valentine's Day. Again, you are avoiding romance at all costs in this stage. So yeah, it's cool. It's their birthday. Get them something simple, a gift card, maybe a card. It's cool to show up to their party, or if you want to invite them to your birthday party. But don't go over the top. Everyone else in their friend group spending $25, $30, $40 on them, and you come here with a $500 gift, and it's being sent to her on carriage with horses. That's too romantic. Buying gifts on Valentine's Day, that's too romantic. So, this is the friend stage. Trust me. If this all works out, you have the rest of your life to buy them gifts on Valentine's Day. Last and certainly not least, do be a good friend. Don't try to be romantic or sexual. I've talked about this before. There's so many benefits to being a good friend. Again, you're not trying to leave a trail of broken hearts on your quest to find real love. So just be a good person. Simple. So now you know what to do, what not to do. What should you be learning about the other person in this step? And when I say what should you be learning, again, you're trying to understand and figure out, can this person and I go on to the next step? Can we start dating? So before you can do that, there's a few things or a few questions you need to answer. Is this person trustworthy? If you can't trust a person with simple things in a friendship, you're not going to be able to trust them in a relationship. Do we have anything in common? We went over this in the do's and don'ts. If you want to have your best friend for the rest of your life, you're going to have something in common. Now, I will say me and my wife have a few things in common, but it's some of the really important things. Like faith is important to us, so we have that in common. That's a huge part of both of us. But we have things in common, and I knew what we had in common and didn't have in common before we moved on to the dating stage. You should be finding out what their friends are like. Are they good people? Are they backstabbers, liars, cheaters, deceivers, heartbreakers? The people they hang around are a good indication of who they are. So find out who their friends are and really be looking at the type of people they are. Can I be myself around this person? That's another question you need to ask yourself. You're not going to be happily ever after if you're having to pretend to be someone else. And if you have to pretend to be somebody else in the friendship stage, you're not going to be happy in any other stage. So you want to have someone you can be yourself around. Another question. Do I even want to be around this person? So some people are just annoying. Or they just choose to do stuff that just pushes people away. Or they're just hurtful. So you need to figure this out. Do I even want to be around this person? Basically, can I be this person's friend? How do they treat their friends? So you looked at their friends to see their character. So now look to see how they treat their friends. Because how they treat their friends, family, people closest to them, once you guys get close, that's how they're going to treat you. And if you don't like that, then don't move on to the next step. If you like it, that's a green flag. And how do they treat me? So you want to pay attention to how they treat you. And if they're not treating you right, if they don't make you feel like, you're equal, you're human, you don't want to be around them. And then, could I see myself marrying a person like them? So I know we're taking steps, and marriage is far away at this point. But if you can't even see a possibility of marrying them, it's probably a sign that you're really not that interested in them, or they're not the one for you. So if you can't see yourself marrying that person, move on. If you can, it's a green flag. So last but not least, I want to explain that this isn't the friend zone. And kind of explain the difference between the two. And maybe give you quick little tips on how to avoid the friend zone. But again, that'll be another podcast, and I'll dive into that. So, the infamous friend zone. So again, I Googled this to figure out what Webster's definition of this is. So this happens when one person wants to be romantic or sexual, and the other person doesn't. One person does not even see the other person as a potential person to date. So, layman's terms, one person is interested in another person and they're not reciprocating. They just see them as friends at best. So that's the friend zone. And then the fear is, I really want this person to want me too, but they're just kind of keeping me around as friends, give me a little bit of hope. And it's almost a relationship, but it's not. And so no one wants to be in there, and I get that. So what I'm saying, this is not the friend zone. And the main reason is, at this stage, both people are agreeing to be just friends. You're just getting to know someone that you're interested in, and maybe possibly being more than friends. So it's a little different. If you stay friends too long because you're not making a move, well, that's on you, and that could turn into the friend zone. So, but we'll have more on how to avoid the friend zone or get out of the friend zone in a later podcast. So that wraps up the friendship stage. We define what friendship is. It's not romantic. It's not sexual. It's someone you hang out with and have a good time with and can be yourself around. We define some of the benefits of beginning with friendship. You don't want to leave a trail of broken hearts on your way to finding true love. And you also want to protect your heart. So you want to take things in stages, see if you can trust them enough to be a friend before you can trust them to start dating. We learned some do's and don'ts. One of the biggest one was find out what you have in common. And don't be afraid to find out if you have nothing in common. So don't be afraid to find out that you have nothing in common. We went over things you should be learning about the other person in the friendship step. Some of the biggest things were, do you have anything in common? Can I trust this person? And could I see myself marrying a person like this in the future? Far future at this point. And then, this isn't the friend zone. This isn't one person wanting to be romantic, another person not. This is two people just getting to know each other, hang out, see if they can have fun, see if they have stuff in common. So thank you again for listening to the podcast. If this has helped you, or if you thought of someone else that it could help, please share. Well, I hope you guys have a good day, good rest of the day, or good night's sleep, depending on what time it is. Again, thank you for turning in, and I'll see you next time.